Hello everyone, Jonathan Van Eaton, and this is my presentation for ARC401 Project 3, the 9SquareGrid. When I first read the introduction and I started thinking about, okay, what do I want to do? There was a statement, instructions about, maybe thinking about designing a museum that's going to show off some of the programs that were listed, and so that's kind of the pathway, or that's kind of the direction I wanted to take. I wanted to start creating that were literal representations of the some of the programs that were listed. So I first started just scratching around on paper. My first, I didn't want to first design something like a real home, or so I started thinking about movement. Would people move through these spaces? And at the same time, I started looking at, okay, what program jump out at me, and what do I want to, how am I going to, physically implement what you're feeling aesthetically and emotionally. So as you can see, I was toying around with different movement schemes, and did I want every room to flow through, or were there going to be some rooms where you went in and then you had to come out the same way? You didn't flow through there, because there's some of the program like Solitude and Peaceful. So, and another one was Enclosure. So I started thinking about, well, how would I represent that? As you can see, I'm keep going, and I'm working on the 9-foot square. Here's an example of enclosure. So I just kept working on it and doodling and putting my ideas down, and drawing what I was thinking about. Puncture was another one that was kind of interesting to me. How would I show that? How would I portray that? And then, of course, here's some of my working about with roof design and things of that nature. My mood board, I like wood, teak wood, the lighter browns. I like tropical settings, and stainless steel, white, stainless steel, wood floors, things of that nature, tropical plants, tropical setting. That's kind of what was motivating me with this project. And I started to kind of get an idea of a globe with a lot of little lights, and each light would have a covering over it, and that would be diffusion. And so I started thinking about and working toward that type of direction. Also, version. We have the chandelier here, an upside down pyramid or something like that. And you can see pools of water. I wanted to incorporate pools of water, and a bridge. And in my mind, if I could have water, I could put bridge, and that's another one of the bridge, connectivity. I would think, a place for your center cube, to connect all the others. So all these things started to come together, and here's one more. You can see the white and the stainless steel, the wicker basket motif on the walls. So here was my what I came up with for my floor plan. Some of the cubes you can move through, you can enter and you can move through, and if you can move through this one, but within that there's an enclosure. The feeling I wanted to portray there, and here's the bridge connectivity. So I have puncture here, and to me that would be everybody running into somebody else. That would be your rec room. That would be where everybody is, your game room, it's where you spend a lot of your time entertaining and things like that. So physically operate just tubes, glass tubes coming through the room. Of course, there's a glass wall, and they run into that, and it's a path for you. As you walk through there, you can have a sense of all these things coming at you, puncturing your space. Two, maybe a kitchen. It was just repetition, just cabinets upon cabinets upon cabinets. So that's what number 2. 3 that's an outdoor space, weather, sunlight, things of that nature. 4 was that had the large. It's a large globe with. It's a grid work, and it has I don't know how many light bulbs, over 100 lights on it, and each one has a glazing over it, so it's not direct light; it's diffused. And then, of course, here's my bridge with the water, and that has skylights in it too. So there's a bunch of different program you could discuss with block 5. 6, that is a infusion. That's a upside down pyramid, and inside the pyramid it has a huge illuminated globe. And then 7, of course, we talked about. That's the enclosure. 8 is the front entrance. That would be, you walk in, and that has steps. So that's up and stepping down. Also, the steps are made where the steps up, it's a void, and that space that makes the steps to go up are reversed and put in again on the other side to go down. So it's a full and void kind of a program. And then, of course, 9 is solitude, quiet. It's a wall, and I have a tree and a planter in there, and a park bench. Those are the kinds of things that I came up with, and I tried to put them in a design where they would flow for the most part, but a couple of them I didn't want it to flow so much because I wanted to portray certain aspects of that program. And of course, here's my south and north elevations. You can see I have glazing in that southeast corner where that tree is in there, and of course on the back, or on the north side, there's the outside space, right and left, or east and west. And you can see I have a lot of glazing. Here's that corner again, and here you can see the upside down pyramid structure, and inside of that is that glowing sphere. And then, of course, on the west side, you can see that large sphere with all the many lights on it. First section, of course, the two most interesting or strange, I guess you could say, views would be the globe, and then the upside down pyramid. So those are the things people would want to talk about, and there's you can see it's the most interesting. plus you can see the bridge and the water, and so you can see what the programs I'm trying to portray there. Three more interesting views are my sections. This one is it's all plastic or glass. It's a glass pathway, and so visually that would be a pretty interesting experience to visually walk through there. Here you can see the profile of the entryway. This space right here was subtracted and over here, and that you get your steps. And of course, the lighting, you'll have weather there too, because there's a skylight there. And then of course, the section D, which is the solitude or the quiet. It's a park bench, quiet room. Got sunlight, but you're because of the glazing. Of course, it has a skylight too. And then of course, here they are again in a perspective. And you can see, hopefully you can see better how these things look, or how you would interact in them. My isometric, I wanted to be able to show inside the structure, because it's designed, I held strictly to the 9 cube motif, so I didn't go up. I didn't really want to go down into the earth. This was a strict interpretation of the instructions, and so it had a roof. I mean, there are some designs on the roof where you could see through or bring in light, but I really wanted to, so I decided to just lift the roof, part of the isometric view, and so you could see this is what it looks like inside. I wanted to think of a flow. I wanted to think about how you could take these different motifs of each different cube, and you could for instance, of course, the cabinets, that's probably would be a kitchen. Weather, that would be an outdoor deck area. The pyramid and the sphere, those are, where would you use that type of lighting? Dining room, or a formal living room or family room. And then of course your enclosure, thinking about maybe a library or a study or some place like that. So that's my design for the project. Wish you all the best, and look forward to on our next project.